So let me welcome to the stage tonight our two MCs for the evening, Maggie Agnew and Josh Yater.
Thanks, Dad, for that warm welcome. I'm excited and honored to help with tonight's fall banquet. I was told we need to warm up the crowd a little bit, so we're going to start with a couple jokes. So, do you have any complaints? Principal came up with these, so he talks in. You guys ready? So, did you know Moses was a star tennis player? Did anybody know that? No. Well, he served in one of Pharaoh's courts, so...
No, I have a better one. When was the first math problem mentioned in the Bible?
The first
It was when God told Adam and Eve to go forth and multiply.
All right, with that, we're going to move into tonight's program.
Yeah, I think we probably should. And without further ado, I'm proud to say that I will now be your first student speaker of this evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Margaret Claire Agnew, but most people call me Maggie. I am 16 and a half years old and a junior high school student here at Royal Mont. This is my first year attending this school. I am still very new here. I had come here to Royal Mont in search of something. I had come in search of a key to spending my remaining years of high school unmiserable, a key that I had been searching for the entirety of my life as a high schooler, a key that I had been unable to find any traces of anywhere. I had come here to Royal Mont hoping that it would be the key I needed to lock away my dreaded misery, hopefully forever. The key I needed to open 3 doors in my life that had been shut due to my first crushing years of high school. The door to help and comfort, the door to joy and happiness, and even possibly the door to healthy relationships with our God and our neighbor. I had strived to have faith that these doors would one day be opened for me again. However, I had been a miserable wreck for the past 2 years, and I had been beginning to wonder if I would ever find the key that I was looking for, and if my dream to attend a school and be happy was even worth having faith in anymore. Then I found Royal Mont Academy. I came to this school, and almost immediately, my misery began locking itself away. And best of all, the 3 doors that I had dreamed of unlocking began to open. Ever since then, I have simply been loving it here for many, many reasons. Many things make Royal Mont a wonderful school. I will share with you today the top 3 things that I love most about it. The things that define this school as the key that I have been searching for. The things that are indeed fulfilling my dreams and unlocking these 3 doors. One thing about Royal Mont that makes it so special to me is how well it cares for my many personal needs. You see, I struggle both academically and socially. My algebra and history skills have always been low, and therefore my grades in those subjects have always been as well. My algebra, yes. I also have social problems. I'm quiet and shy, and therefore a lot of the time, I fail to communicate with my teachers and classmates, to join into and start conversations with them, and to ask them for help when I need it. Here at Royal Mont, both the teachers and the students have been wholeheartedly giving me their support and attention. They have always been willing to help me through my problems because they care about how I am doing in my schoolwork and about how I am personally feeling. I don't even always need to ask them for assistance. A lot of the time, they can sense that I need help, and they won't hesitate to try their best to. They care not only for my academic needs, but my social needs as well. They may not realize it, but their friendliness towards me and willingness to have a conversation with me greatly increased my social abilities. Everyone at Royal Mont is an awesome help and social example to me, and it has and continues to open wide the door of help and comfort for me. Royal Mont also opens the door of joy and happiness in my life. I love how all kinds of children are welcome within its walls as students. They are well welcomed with joy and compassion, as I was. When I came to shadow here, I felt extremely nervous, for my last school shadow was awful, as I remember it. The teachers were nice, but the class was not. Here, it was nothing like that. I was welcomed, as I'd said before, with joy and compassion, and by the whole school, students included. Despite being welcomed in these wonderful ways during my shadow, I was nervous again on my actual first day of school, but it went just as well as my shadow, if not better. Not only do I love how Royalmont has welcomed everyone, including me, within its walls, but I love how the high school students respect their teachers and how the teachers respect their students, and how the teachers try to make their classes interesting for the students instead of just lulling us to sleep. So, Royalmont opens the doors of help and comfort and joy and happiness for my life, and offers companionships that I value very much inside the door of healthy relationships. What about God, though? How is He better incorporated into my life through Royalmont? Well, this school has certainly helped me to grow closer to Him in many ways. Having Mass said at the school every Friday morning and enforcing our rule of benedicentia, which is just our made-up word for speaking well of others, this school has helped me to grow in grace and to behave better. Being invited to say a rosary for the unborn every day, and staying true to this school's motto of Semper Altius, which means always higher, in regards to our fulfillment of God's will and in our relationships with Christ, has also helped me grow in my Catholic faith very much. And I know I will continue to grow closer to God here, and that the door to healthy relationships with our God and our neighbor in my life will continue to open wider. Once I had only prayed and dared to dream that I would find a school such as Royalmont one day, and now here I am. I am proudly an official student at this school now, a school where I now receive help anytime I need it from good, caring, most willing souls. A school where I can not only learn but can also play and have a good time while respecting everybody. A school where I can grow closer to God with every step that I take, every word that I speak, every action I perform, and every thought that I think. Those three doors in my life, the door to help and comfort, the door to joy and happiness, and the door to healthy relationships with my God and our neighbor, have all been unlocked and opened. And my sadness and suffering locked up by this school, by this blessing, by this family. After 2 years of searching for the key to unlock these doors and to lock away my misery forever, I finally found Royalmont. It fit into the keyholes perfectly. I had hoped and prayed so hard for a school like this, and I am so glad that I can say to you all tonight that this school, Royalmont Academy, is now my school, my blessing, and my family. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Maggie. What a wonderful testimony with examples of how the school here at Royalmont helps everyone feel welcome. I like how you touched upon one of Royalmont's 4 educational dimensions, human formation. Well-formed students learn to make good choices by training their hearts and minds. As students, we want to do things the way Jesus would do them.
Now we will hear from some of Royalmont's youngest students.
Hello, my name is Sam Evangelist and I'm in first grade. Hello, my name is Robbie Satterhall and I'm in first grade. Hello, my name is Nico and I'm in second grade. Good evening, everyone. You live to Royalmont Academy. I'm in second grade and love Royalmont. My friends have written and acrostic poem about what they like best about our school, Royalmont Academy. The poem begins with recess and rosary. I like to pray in recess, and I like pray with my friends at the daily rosary. R is respect others and reverence self. O is obey God and has forbid. Y is yes to God's will. A is for angels, angels that protect us. L is for love, love others like we love God. M is for mass, mass is a time for it. O is observe, observe feast days. N is nice, nice to others. T is talk about God to others. Wow, my friend sure liked a lot about our school Roymont. I love Roymont too. My favorite things about Roymont are learning about Jesus throughout our school day, learning about the saints, playing games like cat and mouse in PE class, and the daily rosary. Thank you for being here to support our school.
Thank you, Finn, Max, Dominic, Robbie, and Miko. Your poem was great.
What a beautiful example of how Roymont forms minds at such a young age. As we say here at Roymont, Semper Altius, always higher. We strive for high standards as a part of our intellectual dimension of educational formation.
Now for our next speaker, Armando Ruiz.
Hello, I'm Armando Ruiz, and I'm in 7th grade, and I've been at Roymont Academy for 5 years. And this is what I think about this school. My time at Roymont started in 2018. I was uneasy and afraid to go to a new academy. All I thought was, what happened to my old friends? Was I going to make new friends? Would the teacher be delightful or incensed? When the day came upon me and I went to my class, I ended up infatuated with the school. The people were as pleasant as bees on a sunny day. The teacher was as enjoyable as Mary Poppins. And the friends I made were as many as ants in an ant farm. My worries were washed out like winter going into spring on my first day here. Now I'm in 7th grade, and after these 5 years at the school, I've seen a lot of astonishing things. So here are some of them. Something I see that is unique is how Catholic everyone is here. Before this school, I was Catholic, but this school taught me a lot about Jesus and the Bible. I did not know Jesus as a friend until I got to this school. I rarely went on trips at my other schools, but when I did, it was something like the zoo, which I did not get to know Jesus as much at. Here at this wonderful academy, I've been able to see Jesus at the trips to Camp River Ridge, a camp that the upper grades go to every year. I've also learned to become a bigger friend of Jesus. Here, I feel Jesus with me, in me, and a bigger friend. Here, I met my best friend, Jesus, and that's the most valuable thing to find. Now I want to talk about a time when I was struggling. I was in 6th grade, and all I received was dreadful news over and over. I could not do it. It was too much, I said to myself, as I was getting my homework after homework, and I was not exactly in a jolly mood. My great-grandfather had recently passed on into heaven. I was walking out of the school, my teacher stopped me and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No," and she pulled me in and told me that everything would be okay. That may not seem that inspirational to some of you, but as someone who is not in a particularly good mood, that meant a lot. The thing that the teacher did was an act of kindness, which is a virtue, which is something I've learned here, and a virtue that is particularly important. Kindness is when you help or do something, like being nice to someone. That day, I finished my homework, and it would have taken longer without that act of kindness. One time, Roymont Academy challenged me in an effective way with drafting these papers. Every year, you write a fall banquet speech for the upcoming fall banquet. The paper will be graded, but will also be in a competition against your classmates, who can make the best speech for all the people to hear. Although some people just want the grade, I always want to get up on stage and give my speech. But repeatedly, I get close, but I get outmatched at the last second. Although you might see this as bad, this is marvelous though. This competition has increased my writing skills over and over. Now I'm a way better writer than I was years prior because of this friendly challenge I've made for myself. My faith has been deepened as much as bubbles coming out of a soda when you pour it. Each of those bubbles could not equal the amount of knowledge I have learned about my faith. God created us for a purpose. He created everything for a purpose, including the school. God made people who'd make the school I learned here that God is not just our creator, He's our Father, and He loves us more than our brains could ever know. All because of this school, the teachers who taught me, the mentors like Father Jesus, a priest who has taught me to love God more than anything, the missionaries at the trips who taught me about the Bible and prayer, even all my friends who taught me more about Jesus than my friends outside of this school even know. What I'm trying to say is that this school and its teachers have taught me one of the most important types of knowledge in the world, that God is our creator and that we should love Him. If I walked into these halls years later, I'd cry seeing all the things I have learned about writing, math, history, science, but most important, God, and how He loves us more than I can imagine. All the fun memories of my friends of playing outside and going skiing with each other would come right into my head. I would exit the school as an adult, yes, but also a saint. With that, I would say sayonara for my academy.
Thank you, Armando. Your metaphors were amazing and clever.
Indeed, I felt happy as a cricket listening to you.
Now for our next speaker, Julianne Loisel.
Hello, my name is Julianne Loisel, and I am in second grade at Royamont Academy. Would you like to hear how we learn about our Catholic faith at Royamont Academy? I love when we go to Mass and see our sixth grade buddies at recess. We learned about Moses and the Ten Commandments in our Catholic life. I love when we go to Gate of Heaven Cemetery and pray for those who died. May God bless Royamont Academy.
Thank you, Julianne. Wow, Julianne and Armando really highlighted the spiritual dimension of Royamont's education. How Royamont incorporates our faith into everything we do at school.
Agreed. I also like everything they mentioned about our spiritual formation. I have especially enjoyed retreats at Camp River Ridge with Father Jesus and my classmates.
And now we will hear from one of our high school freshmen, Noah Kiefer.
Praise be Jesus Christ. Hello, my name is Noah Kiefer. I'm a freshman and this is my first year at Royamont Academy. When I attended my old school, I stood out as a man of faith. Even though I was at an archdiocesan school, the Catholic identity of the student body was lacking. Few of my peers attended Mass regularly and seldom practiced their faith when outside of a strictly Catholic environment. Of course, there were exceptions to the norm, including the administration, who genuinely strive to cultivate the faith of their students. Overall, though, the communal theme of my previous school when it came to interacting with my fellow students was not one of faith, but rather one defined by the trivial things of this world. This theme, though now in conflict with my ardent beliefs, was not always. In my younger years, I was one to follow the whims of the crowd, acting in ways immoral. However, as I started to cultivate my faith and grow in my relationship with the Lord, there was a change in the way I naturally behaved. This was noticed by my peers who singled me out as the holy guy of the group, sinless and all-knowing about things concerning the faith. This was most untrue, as I am a sinner and a wretched one indeed. However, my peers did not see me this way, and I held a great burden because of that. There was always an expectation for me to do the right thing and to avoid sin, which in some ways can be encouraging, but when I failed to do so, it was pointed out not as something bad, but rather as a good. My immoral actions were seen as having sense, even though I knew them to be sinful in the eyes of God. When I came to Royalmont, I noticed immediately the change in attitude when it came to matters of faith. Gone was the resentment of morality that had characterized my prior experiences in education. When I acted uprightly, I wasn't made fun of. When I prayed, I wasn't rudely singled out because of my actions. What's more, my peers and teachers desired the faith as much as myself. For example, a friend of mine started a group rosary at recess to pray for the defeat of issue 1, and we are still praying for an end to abortion. Also, one of my good teachers came up with the concept of a Virtue of the Month magnet, where there is one virtue for each month and you receive a magnet, either from a teacher or a peer, for living out that virtue. Herein lies the change I first noticed at Royalmont. I felt comfortable to be Catholic, a luxury not common in the average Catholic high school. This is what separates Royalmont from other schools. The children and parents are both supportive of a communal theme of an ardent faith in Jesus Christ, one that cannot be resisted, but is infectious to all it reaches. Royalmont is not flawless, but it stands as one of the most enjoyable schooling experiences I personally have ever had. In all, I've come a long way in my educational experience and in my faith. Now at Royalmont, I seem to have stumbled upon a community where being truly Catholic seems natural. I am built up in faith by friends whom I walk alongside with on the road to eternity. Royalmont fulfills the desire of Christ before he ascended into heaven, when he says, "Going therefore, teach ye all nations." Royalmont has been a true blessing in my life and the lives of many other families. I hope and pray it will stand for generations to come, bringing souls to Christ's kingdom.
Thank you, Noah, for your testimony that highlights the spiritual and human dimensions of our school.
Because of Royalmont's spiritual and human formation, we don't just talk about being like Jesus. Our teachers offer opportunities for us to act as the hands and feet of Christ, which is such a powerful experience.
And reverence and all other virtues are encouraged by our fellow students and teachers rather than ridiculed.
Now we will hear from a fourth grader, May Hanavan.
Hello, my name is May Hanfin. I'm in 4th grade. I've been at Roymont for 6 years now, and all my family has been here. I have 9 siblings, and they say this place changed their life. My sister said, if I didn't go to Roymont, I would not be in grad school. Roymont is like my second home. My favorite thing about Roymont is all the friends I made and all the nice teachers. I also love how they have All Saints Day, Grandparents' Day, the concerts, the First Fridays, class mass, all school mass. I also like how every day there is a sign that says, through these halls, walk saints. Once I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and my mom and teacher had a lot of meetings, but I got a tutor this year, and I am glad. Reading is hard for me, but they are always there for me. I always say to myself, I am blessed every day. Sometimes I am having a hard day, but I walk into the doors of Roymont, and there is always someone who will say to me, good morning. And that always makes me happy. There is always someone you can talk to. I love Roymont. Thank you for a great school.
Thank you for sharing, May. Our teachers work very hard to create such a great environment for learning and growing as a person.
We can always count on Royalmont community to build us up. Our teachers are a huge part of that. Next, we have two of our 8th grade students, Nick and Max Borgamacki.
Good evening. My name is Max Borgamacki. I am in 8th grade, and this is my 3rd year at Royalmont Academy.
My name is Nick Borgamacki. I am also in 8th grade, and I've also gone to Royalmont Academy for 3 years.
Nick, have you ever been challenged before and had something positive come out of that experience?
As I think about it, Max, I have had that experience of that happening. I've had something positive come out of being challenged every day at Royalmont. The teachers challenge everyone to make them the best person they can be. The other way the teachers at Royalmont challenge one is the subject of academics. They believe that every single student at Royalmont can go above and beyond what they are supposed to do. So they start teaching advanced material for every grade level to prepare them for the later levels of his or her life. All the challenging school material helps everybody with Semper Altius test scores. But is that the only way Royalmont challenges us?
No, Royalmont does not just challenge one in academics. Royalmont also challenges one in spiritual ways too. Royalmont is a true, authentic, faith-filled Catholic school.
Max, have you ever seen a saint story and been totally awed?
Yes, right off the bat, 2 stories come to mind. The first being Saint Tarcisius. Saint Tarcisius was beaten to death because he was a Christian carrying the Eucharist. But then the Eucharist was absorbed in his skin. The second story is about St. Lawrence. He was being burned over fire, and he still said, "Turn me over. I think I'm done on this side now." Both murdered for their faith, saints are people who have chosen God above all things and have shown us a way to get to heaven. A saying at Royalmont is, "Through these halls walk saints." Royalmont helps one in so many ways when it comes to one's journey towards sainthood. Nick, have you heard of Blessed Carlo Acutis' list of ways to becoming a saint?
Can you remind me?
This list shows the ways to becoming a saint and how to get to heaven. Just a couple things are on this list is try to go to Mass every day, try to go to confession every week, and pray every day.
This is so trouble-free because you can do all this at Royalmont.
Yes, and Royalmont does not just have these a couple times a week. Royalmont has every single thing on this list every day. Royalmont has a full-time priest, Father Jesus, that does Mass and confession every day in our very own Christ our King Chapel. And students and staff pray before every single class. Not only does Royalmont have everything Blessed Carlo Acutis says you have to have to become a saint, but Royalmont also has mentors guiding you through your faith journey.
Royalmont challenges everybody in their spiritual ways in becoming a saint and in their academic ways too. Through these examples, anybody can see why Royalmont is such an amazing, challenging, faith-filled, and authentic Catholic school. Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you, Nick and Max. What a great insight into your thoughts about your years at Royalmont.
Thanks for sharing your knowledge of saints and virtues with us tonight. Now we will have Claire Brunsman, one of our 5th grade students, speak.
Hello, my name is Claire Brunsman, and I am in 5th grade. Royalmont Academy is an amazing school. This story that I am about to share with you happened last year in 4th grade. One Friday, I walked into school with a lot of stress and anxiety. I was going to have a surgery. I was born with a cleft lip and palate. I was having a bone graft surgery. In case you don't know what that is, the doctor was going to take some of my hip bone and put it into my mouth to fill in the gaps. I told my friends about it, and I told them that I would miss a lot of school. The surgery would be in 3 days. When it was time to go home, I waved my friends goodbye. After the surgery, I had to stay home for 1 whole week. I was so sad to miss so much school. When I was able to go back to school, I brought a rainbow room kit to do during recess. All of the girls in my class made bracelets with me during recess. That meant a lot to me that I had friends who gave up their recess to play inside with me. One of the virtues they demonstrated was sacrificial virtue, which means giving up something for someone else. St. Maximilian Kolbe gave up his life for a man named Franciszek Gajowniczek. St. Max's story is incredible. My brother is even named after him. All the people at Royalmont are very kind. The chaplain, Father Jesus, has helped me with all of my stress. I am so blessed to be at Royalmont Academy. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful night.
Thank you, Claire. You have a brave story about coming through a difficult time, and you showed how Royalmont helped you get through it.
Very moving. You are very strong and courageous. And now for our final student speaker of the evening, a Royalmont High School junior, Lucas Vonderwish.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lucas Vonderwish, and I am in 11th grade. This is my third year here at Royalmont, and tonight I will tell you about my experience here as a whole. On the outside, this school seems very average, a small, private Catholic school, nothing special, just another place for kids to learn. I can assure you, from an inside perspective, it is the complete opposite. This school is nowhere near average and directly opposes the common stereotype of small private schools. This school flourishes in all areas of interest, religiously, academically, and communally. Now, I can't promise that all experiences here are good, and I don't want to give a false sense of perfection. So before I tell you about the upsides of the school, I will tell you about my struggles. No matter where you go to school, there's always going to be some stressors, whether that is academic formation, tension between peers, or an overwhelming feeling from the workload. Unfortunately, I've experienced all of these feelings at both my grade school and here at Royalmont. One of my biggest struggles has been social conflicts. I have very bad social anxiety, I'm an overthinker, and I'm constantly paranoid about what other people think about me. Additionally, I've always been a very caring person with a big heart, always wanting to help others and often putting others before myself. This, however, has been one of my biggest downfalls. The constant desire to help others got me into one of the worst rabbit holes possible, high school girl drama. Now, I won't go into details, but if you've ever been in a similar situation, I'm sure you know how exasperating this can be. I'll be honest, I do not really understand girls, but from what I can tell, they fight in the most complicated way possible. From my experience, when boys fight, they're mad at each other for about 5 minutes, and next thing you know, they're best friends again. Girls are the opposite. They draw things on for so much longer than they need to, and resolving these issues seems like an impossible task. Unfortunately, due to my tendency to put others' problems before myself, I got caught up in this rabbit hole, and the results were disastrous. Seeing as this is a sensitive topic to most, I will keep it brief, but because I was so overwhelmed with trying to solve others' problems, I completely disregarded myself. I stopped taking care of myself, I had very poor hygiene, I completely stopped eating food for the most part, I wouldn't sleep, I lost most physical health, became very out of shape, I stopped applying myself at school, I was suicidal and was admitted to partial hospitalization. I lost friends, I lost myself, and worst of all, I lost God. These were all the negative experiences that have come from my time in high school. Now, the good things. You might be thinking, wow, this school caused him all these problems, this place must be terrible. Well, I can tell you with full certainty, you're wrong. This school is not what caused these problems. I caused them for myself. This school is the reason that I've been able to work through these problems. That is why I truly believe this place is special. I mentioned earlier that during my time of ultimate struggle, my grades were miserable, but through it all, my academic formation was at an all-time high. Although my grades were failing, it was not due to a lack of effort from my teachers. It was due to a lack of effort from myself. I was still learning so much, everything I needed to know to excel, and as soon as I started to put effort into my work again, my grades increased dramatically. This goes to show how incredible the education and educators of this school are. Despite my constant distractions from school, I was still able to absorb the knowledge that was dispersed to me. Following a common theme, the community of this school is exceptional. Although I tried my best to hide my pain with fake laughs and smiles, my friends were able to see through it, showing true concern for my well-being. This is something that I have not seen elsewhere. From my experience, most people either completely ignore both you and your needs or pay very little attention to them. This is not the case here. Lastly, the religious aspect of Royalmont. I grew up Catholic, and most of the people I was exposed to were also Catholic. Although I grew up Catholic, I did not feel that I truly understood God. Most of the time, I thought of God as just something that was there, and he was kind of a nuisance. Going to Mass, praying with my family, all of it was just a chore. I only ever wanted to go to Mass to see my grandparents. As I got older, I received the Holy Sacraments, but I did not feel a change in my religious life. I often would have bursts of religious strength where I would feel connected to God, and I truly experienced his presence in my life. Royalmont helped me take hold of these bursts and grow upon them. My classmates, formators, and Father Jesus have all given me direct exposure to the pure happiness that can be found only in God. With the help of my peers, I've gained so much understanding of God. I've learned so many virtues, the purposes of them, and how I can utilize them in my life. Like I said previously, I'm an overthinker. I always seemed to try and come up with excuses of why God didn't exist, why God didn't love me. This changed at Royalmont. I no longer search for the physical proof of God's existence. I gained faith, the honest belief of his existence, and love for each and every one of us. And I now use my faith in God to help bring our Lord to others. I hope I have helped you understand some of the many struggles someone can experience in high school. But more importantly, I hope that you take note of the many ways this school helps to counteract these problems and helps form its students into strong, capable future leaders. Thank you for listening to me. Have a good night.
Thank you, Lucas, for that humorous but heartfelt testimony about how Royalmont has helped you navigate the occasional sticky world of high school life.
It is comforting knowing that along with our parents, our teachers are ready and willing to help us through difficult times.
With that, our time as student ambassadors has come to a close.
Let us hear it again for all our student speakers tonight.